Hello, here's video number 3, I think of 4. I think I'm just gonna make 4. Around the house, spring and fall, maybe summer as well. I may do a summer set, but for sure spring and fall of around the house, the short path that runs parallel to the driveway that's lit by the solar lights that I just talked about, the meditation features, which I'm talking about now, and then a longer video will be I'll walk the whole mile-long big loop, and I will do that with my long legs moving at a higher tempo, so it doesn't take, I may get away with doing that whole walk in 30-35 minutes, I hope. But I wanted to talk a little bit about the meditation features on I have 3 meditation features on the property that I've made. One of them is going to require this guy, which I bought. What a rock, huh? It's got mica in it. You see it glowing, and I don't know if you can see it sparkling in the sunlight. It's got a really cool mineral in it that's like moss green. It's a cool rock. And I'm making a Zen garden, and that's going to be the anchor of the Zen garden up in the forest. I'll show you that in a second. This small stone I'm using in the Zen garden and the tea patio, which I'll show you in a second. And then this larger river stone, 2 to 4 inch river stone, I used in the labyrinth that you briefly were able to see in the last video, right? And I got that because I was gonna like make the labyrinth and like put fist-size river stones on the ground. I'm really glad I didn't, but that was the goal. I couldn't find any really beautiful fist-sized river stones, and there's no stone on this property. It's interesting, beautiful trees and flowers and everything, but no stone. So I decided to do with the labyrinth what I did, which is get that large river stone there delivered, several deliveries actually. It took quite a bit of quite a few yards of that stone to do this. And I took I marked the labyrinth out up here that in the last video you got to see. I kind of fit it into the space the way it wanted to go. You know, labyrinths, if you build labyrinths, they kind of choose how they want to go. Like I had my idea of how it was going to go, and the space and the labyrinth itself kind of said, no, it needs to kind of go a little bit into the trees. It's very interesting. Excuse me, Bumblebee. Excuse me. Sorry, dude. What I did was I laid it out, and then I put the seed pattern in, as you do making these labyrinths. If anybody knows about that, you can Google labyrinth seed pattern, and there are articles on it online, which is right there. The seed pattern is right there, the cross with the corners, and then you just go around in a circle and keep connecting. And I did all that by hand with a shovel. And so I shoveled out a trench. So everything that you see is stone is a 6 to 8 inch trench that I shoveled out by hand with a shovel and then a mattock, and then moved it over and made that earth berm there, which has sunk down and been covered by leaves. That's all the dirt from the labyrinth over there. And then I brought in the stone, wheelbarrow load by wheelbarrow load, and essentially used a shovel and filled it in and made this labyrinth, which is really quite something. I wonder if I go up here you can see it better. I think that's probably a pretty good angle. Can you hear me with it this far away? I don't know what I'm doing on the GoPro. But it's really nice and has a really good feel to it, and it's almost zero maintenance. Like the deer have kicked a few stones away when they walk through, but all in all, I have not maintained this at all, other than in the fall to leaf blow it. And it blows right off in 30 seconds. And really cool too, in the fall, we'll see if it happens this fall like last fall, all of the maple trees around the labyrinth turned first, and their leaves fell. And so it was a gold ring all the way around the labyrinth, and no other maple leaves had fallen yet. It was so interesting. So it was a gold ringed labyrinth. It was really cool. So hopefully this fall, in the fall videos, I'll be able to show you guys that. That bench, there's a little beach park you go down the road, and you just go right down the road here, and there's Lake Michigan, and there's a little beach access there for the public, and they had that concrete bench was kind of halfway up the ridge overlooking the lake, and I used to sit on it a lot and loved it. And then a sign was posted saying they were going to renovate the Pier Cove beach and take all that stuff out. So I called them and I said, hey, let me donate to the project, and in return I get the bench. And they said okay. So the foreman, really nice young guy, Logan, cool guy, he just said sure, and he got his skid steer and he drove the bench all the way from the lake right down the road, right up the driveway, and I dug a pit there. That's a pretty deep pit, packed it in with hard pack and with stone. It's very stable. And he got that thing almost perfectly level. I mean, it was unbelievable. Very talented. But that's a lovely bench, isn't it? It's lovely. And that'll last forever. I mean, it's hard to find a bench like that. So that's nice. So that's the first feature. That's the first meditation feature. That's kind of a moving meditation, if anybody knows about labyrinths. And for brevity's sake, I will not go into, the ways to walk a labyrinth and where that form came from. And you can Google it. You can Google 7-circuit labyrinth, and there's tons of information about them online. And I used to build them in Europe. I built a smattering of labyrinths all over Europe and the United States, and I just hadn't built one in a long time, and just that space needed one. So in 10 days I did it, start to finish, by hand. Anyway, it worked real nice. And then up on this ridge here we're getting to is the second meditation feature. I've always wanted to make a Zen garden. Like the famous one in Kyoto, where it's just white sand and mossy rocks symbolizing like mountaintops peeking out over the clouds, if you're going to meditate on that. And so with the help, I went for a walk with one of the owners of the land one day, and she just walked right up this ridge and said, this is the spot. This is a great spot. And I said, that is a great spot. And I just realized that there needed to be a Zen garden here. So I made this kind of mossy log berm, which looks much greener when it's wetter. It's a little dry right now, even though it rained last night. Interesting. But the space kind of was begging for a Zen garden. And so I started digging, and it turned out it wanted to be a very big Zen garden. So I dug a lot. I dug out this all out by hand, and all the sand that I dug out, I made that nice berm to kind of finish keeping the energy kind of really tight in here. And there's going to be a bench right there, a cast iron bench I've got ordered, and then put it together and put it right there to sit and look at this Zen garden. And the boulder I just showed you is going to get placed by the same guy, Logan's going to come with his skid steer and run it through the woods from where it is now, past the labyrinth, up this hill right here. I took the wall apart here so he could get through, and he should just put it right there to anchor this corner. And then I'll fill the rest of the whole pit in with this small stone, and then add a few other smaller boulders that I can manipulate by hand with my wheelbarrow. And then I'll ring it with mossy logs. There's a whole bunch of mossy logs right down there. And I can get like 18 3-foot sections of mossy logs to go all the way around the perimeter. And it should be, excuse me, pollen again. It should be stunning. It should be amazing. So as soon as that boulder gets set, I can probably finish the whole thing in under a week. And so if I make a set of videos in the summer, in 3 months, you should be able to see it, which is cool. And so that's the Zen garden, or the under construction Zen garden. Hello, butterfly. The path, the long path, now continues on this direction. The big mile-long loop that we'll do in the next video goes this way. I'll talk about it in the next video. But this ridge up here was so pretty, and again, you couldn't see any of this. It was completely choked out. You had no idea this ridge was so beautiful when I started. And as I started cutting away, and clearing it up, it just became this magical place. And there was some furniture in the gazebo that wasn't being used, this cast iron furniture, and so I dug a pit, hard packed it, covered it with small stone, and made a tea patio here in the woods. Isn't that cool? I think that's pretty cool. And you're up on the ridge. Right down the hill is one of the sides of the mile-long upper loop of the ravine trust. So the property line runs, pretty much right there. And then on the other side of the property line is the trail system for the ravine trust, the public land that people can use. And it's just gorgeous. And when the wind blows in the trees, especially when they're gold in the fall, this place is insane. It's so peaceful and pretty. And I cut some more trees recently to make a window to the stars. I think that was a hawk that just flew right over the camera. I don't know if you guys caught that. Isn't that neat? I made that window so you can sit here and watch the stars, or the storms, or the clouds, or whatever you want to watch. Nice of the wind to show me the dancing effect right as I asked about that. That's kind of nice. Thanks, guys. Yeah. So that's what I'm talking about. The wind comes and everything just dances. It's just beautiful. So you can sit and have tea. And I'll turn around and talk to you guys before hi. So you can sit here and have tea. I did it again. Look at that. Only 12 minutes. Are you guys happy? I'm trying to be so efficient. So you can have tea here. I left that stump right there and cut it off to make a little table, maybe a lantern or something. I thought that would be cool. Or you can come sit on the bench here, which is going to be here for the Zen garden. Or you can walk the labyrinth for moving meditation. So there are meditation options, and my friends are really cool, and so they've basically just said, hey, we want this trail system that Scott's making to become part of the public use. And so people have already been walking the labyrinth, and they've already been walking these trails and really enjoying them. So it makes me really happy. And I think that covers it. That covers this video. I think I'm going to come right down here to this juncture and then stop this video and then probably start the long loop from here. I'll just turn around and I'll just do the fourth video right now. And yeah, that'll save a few minutes anyway. It's a long walk. It's a big path that I cut in. Yeah, I think, excuse me, there's something else I wanted to say, but I think that's it. That's it. Okay, I'm gonna turn this off. Bye-bye, peace. And the next video will be the long loop, and then those will be the 4 videos for the spring 2025. All right, the day's date, by the way, I wanted to do it on 5/15/25. It was cloudy yesterday, so I think today's the 16th is the day I'm making this video. These videos. Anyway, peace out. I'll be with you in a minute for the last video. Bye-bye.